Thanks everyone for joining. Over the next few minutes, I want to introduce you to something that we're building at Orgvue, and more importantly, why we think it matters. So obviously there's been a huge amount of excitement around AI recently. And the reality is AI is really good at helping us analyze data, ask more questions, and get better insights. But if you've worked with organizational design, workforce planning, and transformation, you know that insight is rarely the hard part. The challenging part is deciding what we should do next. When you're making decisions that affect people, structures, getting an answer quickly isn't enough. Like, we need to be able to understand how we got there. We need confidence in our assumptions, and ultimately someone needs to be accountable whether that change should actually happen. And that's the challenge we're trying to address with our Orgvue MCP. So what is it? At its simplest, the Orgvue MCP allows your trusted enterprise AI agent to work with your Orgvue platform. So most organizations have already invested in an enterprise AI license, so whether that be Claude, ChatGPT, Copilot, etc. And that's the trust and context already built in. So our position on MCP is the same as our position on data. We're source agnostic. We don't care which HR system your data sits in, and we don't care which AI agent you've licensed. All this meaning, like, you don't have to adopt a new agent for this. You use one you're already accustomed to, and that agent now partners with you to do the work inside of Orgvue. So this allows you to ask questions in your normal voice, but now accessing organizational information. So you can run analysis, explore different scenarios, and understand the net impact of the potential changes. But a key note is that the WebMCP isn't about bypassing Orgvue as a platform. Orgvue remains a governed place where OD work happens. Your methodology still matters, your governance, and your people still decide what gets reviewed and approved and saved. And it's a critical principle of our own as we've designed this. So making sure we have the human in the loop. And the agent may do the work, however, you're the one making the decision. So there's a lot of discussion about MCP right now, and I'm sure you've heard many other organizations coming up with their own. And to be clear, this isn't Orgvue asking you to adopt our model. It's your agent, the one your organization already licensed and trusts, now doing the work through Orgvue. But in our view, the interesting question isn't whether a platform has an MCP connection, it's what that actually enables for the work we're trying to do. Most organizations are rightly focused on helping AI access information, and that's valuable, but organizational design isn't really a retrieval problem, it's a decision-making problem. Finding an insight is useful, and understanding whether that insight is meaningful is the next step up, and then translating that meaningful insight into action or design is even harder. And today, based on how most of our organizations work, understanding that impact before actually making those changes is where a lot of the effort sits. So our plan is to address exactly that, bringing AI into that broader process, not only helping someone retrieve information, but analyze, explore options, model changes, and understand impacts, whilst keeping that work connected to Orgvue. It's all well and good to say these things, but to make it real, the key piece is context. Every organization has different rules, different design principles, different governance, different interpretations of what good or success looks like. And one answer that might be right for one organization could be completely wrong for another. And we see this as we go through transformation journeys with others. So rather than asking AI to invent the perfect methodology, what we're more interested in is the challenge of how do we help AI work with the methodology that you already have. And this means combining workforce data with things like your design principles, your governance rules, and your organizational health metrics and targets. And to me, that's the exciting part. So these inputs start becoming more useful as they're no longer generic and grounded in like your organization and how it works. Something we often hear is that individuals completing OD work are often constrained on the service they would provide to their organization. The issue here has never been a lack of work, it's often the magnitude of it. And we're constantly looking for tools to distribute that knowledge. This now starts to enable two things. So empower our OD professionals, conduct more work at speed, and two, building systems for non-experts to achieve similar outcomes. This allows OD practitioners to then focus on the true value add of what they're trying to do. And that's like taking those inputs and challenging assumptions made, applying their own judgment and experience, and then making the final call of what actually should happen. So to make that a bit more real, imagine you're looking at a function and questioning whether a particular team should sit somewhere else in the organization. What's our typical starting point? It's requesting data, running our as-is analysis, building scenarios, validating assumptions, and then manually assessing those impacts. So these are challenges and take time, easily hours and hours. The use of AI in this context has the potential to do a lot of that early work. It can help analyze the current structure, it can help model potential changes, and it can help surface the resulting impact. But before anything becomes part of the organization, somebody still reviews it, challenges it, and decides whether it's the right course of action. And that's the balance we're aiming for. More speed, more scale, without losing transparency, governance, or control.